Hi, Greg Dell here with Dell Disability Lawyers and attorney Stephen Jessup. And Stephen, we're going to discuss today Prudential long-term disability denial reasons, and we're kind of doing a 5-part series on this. But the first thing I want to get right into is what comes to your mind when you talk about the number one reason for a Prudential long-term disability denial that you see?
Lack of medical evidence to support necessary restrictions and limitations.
Okay, and that seems like like if there was a cut and paste in the Prudential file for how they train their people, that's probably denial reason number one.
Yep.
So what does that mean, that statement you just said?
It basically means when they look at your medical records, they are focusing on the aspects that show that there aren't in their minds restrictions and limitations that prevent you from doing your job. Now that may be the case in certain situations where someone just doesn't have a lot of medical information, or very commonly a diagnosis hasn't necessarily been worked out. There's a body of symptoms and doctors are trying to figure out what's going on. All the way up to, depending on where the claim is that they just think that, you know, especially from an own occupation standpoint to any occupation, the medicals just don't support why you can't return to full-time sedentary work or something along those lines.
And how do you usually see in these denials from Prudential how they get to, or what do they rely upon to say lack of medical evidence?
For the initial denials,
Yeah.
It's going to be, you know, a lot of times they'll use an internal nurse case manager to start doing things. That nurse case manager will render an opinion, and then it'll be sent to in-house, you know, doctors that work for Prudential to either agree or disagree with, and generally speaking, you know, they agree with it. So they'll get nurse and then various doctors, and then go from there to basically just state that the medical information is insufficient to support why, you know, if you have a pain condition, why it's so severe that you can't work, or, you know, if it's a mental health or a cognitive side, why, you know, it's not indicative of a mental health severe enough that would prevent you from working.
Okay, so you know, and a lot of people watch our videos know that we're constantly putting out new videos and providing tips for how to protect your benefits, stay on claim, and if you get denied, how to get them back on claim. So what tip would you give someone in order to avoid this position from Prudential that your file and your claim is lacking medical evidence?
I think the biggest thing, and it's not an end-all be-all, objective medical evidence. You know, if there is some test you can have performed to verify the presence of an issue, do those tests. You know, when people complain about radiating pain and numbness down their arm, you know, and they have a neck issue, I say, please go get an EMG and nerve conduction study. Your doctor can certainly diagnose what it is just based on symptoms and clinical impressions, but the insurance company is still going to try to dismiss it. So if there's objective evidence and some type of test that can be done to verify the diagnosis, have that performed, because that's going to make the task of showing how the diagnosis is resulting in a functional impairment for disability, it's going to make that, drawing that nexus a lot easier.
Okay, and what about treating with the appropriate medical doctors?
That's another big one. We see a lot of times with mental health claims, if it's a depression, anxiety, and it can be very hard to get into a specialist, so they're only treating with their primary care. So the Prudential, what they'll do, they'll have psychiatrists or psychologists look at it and basically say it's not even receiving standard care. There's not enough here to establish the basis of a mental health decision, and they'll deny from that. Same thing it can be if there's an intervention, like you say, for instance, you should be seeing a rheumatologist. If you're just going to your primary care doctor, they're always going to try to one-up in a specialty to dismiss what your doctor's opinions are. And even a lot of people, sometimes they'll treat with nurse practitioners or licensed therapists, which they provide excellent care, don't get me wrong, but an insurance company will say, well, we had our doctor look at it, and our doctor's opinion is stronger than your nurse or your therapist's opinion.
So the tip is go to the most qualified specialist you can for that particular medical condition, and likely you'll have an upper hand on Prudential, and you'll also, if you get denied, you'll have the best resource, the best qualified person who knows that particular medical condition. So I always tell people who call us that they can reach out to us, ask us any questions at any time about their claim. If they think they're going to be denied, or if they've been denied, to call us. We're happy to give them advice and let them know immediately, no matter where they live in the country, how we can help them. So we look forward to talking to you if you could use our help. Hi, I'm Gregory Dell, the managing attorney of Dell Disability Lawyers, and I hope you find the video you just watched helpful. We put these videos out all of the time, and we'd love if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. Beyond our videos on our YouTube channel, we also have lots of information available on our website at diattorney.com, and we encourage you to come to our website. The goal is that we want you to be educated about the disability insurance process. And when you get to our website, you'll see that we have information all about your specific disability insurance company, your occupation, and your medical condition. And we've designed our website such that you can easily search our website to find things that you may specifically be looking for. Now, at our website, we have thousands and thousands of pages of information, hundreds of videos that you can search, plus we're building a section of reviews of all the disability insurance companies, and we have the Ask Our Lawyer section where you can go ahead and ask us any questions that you may have. Now, we realize that you may not need us right now, but you may need us in the future to help you with your disability claim, and we think one of the best ways to keep in touch is by clicking the button below and subscribing to our channel. And most importantly, again, no matter where you live in the country, we're always available. Just go ahead and give us a call. We're happy to discuss your claim and let you know immediately if we can help you.